rolling today. Rolling. I got my Mountain Dew Kickstart caffeine juice. Going down I-80, headed toward California. I'm in Nevada. And I'll be going over Donner Pass. Hopefully the snow is gone by the time I get there, because they just got smattered over the last weekend. But I've just been thinking, like, what the heck next video I'm gonna do. You know, I haven't been having a chance to go to the range, so I couldn't do a gun thing. So, you know what? I'll just talk about how ridiculous it is. I've talked about dating. I mean, that's how my channel really like popped off mostly. But I don't just want to talk about dating. I think it's specifically, I wanted to talk about like my experience, and my experience is so close to most men now, my age, which is almost 40. And right at 2 months, I'll be 40 years old. And 40 feels good. You know, I think I look pretty good for 40. I haven't gotten like crazy out of shape. I could be in better shape. I used to be in better shape. I am getting in better shape. I started working out again, thank God. But yeah, I'm healthy. I'm healthier than most guys for 40. And I don't know. I know I've talked about this before too, is like on the dating apps, I get more matches than average. Like average guys apparently will get, if they swipe like 100 times, they might get like between 3 to 5 matches, maybe. I get way more than that. I mean, I don't swipe a lot because I am picky and I read profiles. And out of 10 swipes, I'll probably get 1 or 2. That's pretty good. That's actually that's pretty good. The problem comes after all of that. And I say dating at 40 because once you're at my age, and that's middle age, I hate even saying that, but it is. Once you're middle-aged, your options become pretty dire. Now, I'm 6 feet. I know I look okay. And, I have hobbies that women apparently find attractive. Some of them. Women don't like gaming. I play video games. Kiss my ass. If you think gaming is a red flag, you are the red flag. There is some downsides to some men being gamers, and that's those guys that play online all the time. They let it consume their life. They end up becoming slobs. I'm the opposite of that. I work 70-hour weeks. I work my ass off. And gaming is my favorite way to relax. So shut up. I'm also a published author, award-winning filmmaker, which I will be getting back into that soon. I'm writing my second novel now. And I cook better than your grandma, Becky. So I don't want to hear about me gaming, playing my little single-player games is a red flag. That's my tangent for today. But as I said, I'll get those matches. But then, that's where I run into all the problems that all the other men are running into in 2025. It almost doesn't matter what age you are, but I say specifically late 30s into your 40s. It's a hellscape, man. It is just horrible. It's horrible. And how do I know this? Well, okay. In my teenage years, I had one girlfriend for about a year. And we didn't even go to the same school. But that was back in the day. That was like early 2000s. Like, I'm talking like the year 2000. 25 years ago. Watch your lane, guy. This dude almost fucking clipped me off. Freaking moron. These people in box trucks, man. That was back in the year 2000. Dating apps wasn't really a thing unless you signed up, what was it, Match.com or OkCupid. This dude's drunk. What is he doing? He's all over the road. It's not even noon, my God. It is Nevada, though. Anyway, prison area, hitchhiking prohibited. I gotta pick up somebody I can date that escaped from prison. Alright, I say 40 because, okay, again, you know, teenager, one girlfriend, and then I had a couple really short things when I was in my early 20s. Then, you know, military deployments, and then once I got into film school, that's where I met the woman that would become my wife eventually. Now, overall, we were together 10 years. I've got a whole video on why that just all fell apart. And after we had a kid and all that. But, so if you want to find that video, I'll link it if I can remember. I never remember. I say that, but I never remember. Now, we were together for 10 years. So by the time we separated and broke up, Tinder had gotten off, Bumble and Hinge and all this other crap. All of these had exploded in popularity. So that's the first time I tried it. This was in 2020. So 5 years ago, well, a little over 5 years ago, because it is now 2026. Holy shit, it's 2026! I just realized it's the new year! Wait, no it ain't. No, it ain't. It's the 30th. It's not the new year. I'm like 2 days ahead of myself. Alright, so it's not 2026 yet. But yeah, a little over 5 years ago. It's when I first got on apps. Now, at the time, I was completely over the road. I wasn't like in a dedicated route like I'm doing now. I wasn't home every week. I was out for 3 weeks at a time, 21 days, and then I would go home for a couple days. Now remember, I was separated, but I would go home and I would stay in the truck. I wouldn't stay at home. I would park near home so I could see my kid, and then I would just stay in the truck. So I was on the apps and getting, you know, kind of experiencing for the first time how freaking terrible it was. And this was, I was 36, 35 or 36 at the time. And even, you know, I was matching with women that were 26, 27, and up to my age. And I was having a lot of conversations with them, but I wasn't really meeting with any of them. I finally ended up in Pennsylvania because I matched with, I've talked about BPD girl before, matched with her. And then we met, decided to just try and see what happens, and we ended up being together for a little over 2 years, and we lived together, and it was, you know, it was tumultuous, because by BPD I mean borderline personality disorder. And this is what I'm getting at, is once you get in your mid-30s and your 40s, the only thing that's left on these apps as far as women are the leftovers. And I don't mean that in like every woman. I've met some good women on the apps. I specifically talked about one that I dated right when I moved. After I split up with BPD girl, I decided I was going to move to Utah because I'd always wanted to live out west. I love the desert. I love the mountains. And this is all I like. I do not regret that at all. I love it out here. So I moved out here, and the first one that I dated, we dated for about a month. We went on, I think, 3 dates. Nothing wrong with her. She was great. But she had 2 kids. Now, again, a lot of guys won't date single moms. I have nothing against single moms, okay? But I tried being a stepdad with BPD girl. That was an utter disaster. I've never felt so expendable and like I was the weak link. And that's the case with most single moms. Is if you get in a relationship with them, you'll never be prioritized. You just won't. And that right there is a doomed relationship. If your significant other will not prioritize your relationship, even over kids, and I learned this in therapy. Most marriage counselors will tell you this. Most couples counselors will tell you this. Is that you have to prioritize your relationship, even over the kids, because the kids are going to grow up. You have to train the kids to be adults and have some independence and accept that mom now has a new boyfriend or husband, and that you're the stepdad now. And most women just aren't going to do that. They're not going to prioritize you, and that relationship is 99.99% of the time it's not going to work, and that is proven over and over. I gave it a shot, didn't work. I got proven wrong. I proved the therapist right? So I did. And that is mostly what you're going to run into at my age, is single moms who have at least one kid. Most of the time it's going to be 2 to 3. Yeah, most of the time it's going to be 2 to 3 or more. If it's more than 2, automatic no for me. And also, it depends on like the age of the kid. I'm not going to talk too much about my preferences on it, but like the younger the kid, the less priority you will be. If their kids are teenagers or a little older or more independent, yeah, the mom's got more time for you. So, consider that. But if that kid's like 5 years old, he's still a toddler, most of the time, that mom's not going to have time for you. And it's not entirely her fault. I mean, she could have had a shitty ex-boyfriend or ex-husband, and now they're apart. Not entirely always the woman's fault. But if that kid's that young, he's going to require more time from the mom. No time for you. That's most likely not going to work out. You're going to spend all your time trying to figure out how to freaking set up a date. It's never going to work. I made the last couple videos that I was talking to somebody. And I mean, we haven't cut contact or anything, but now we're barely talking. Because she has, if I'm correct, I'm stupid, my brain sucks, but a 5-year-old. And nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. His dad's not in the picture, but he's 5 years old. And the only people that can help watch the 5-year-old is her mom, who lives with him. But again, that doesn't mean she's got a lot of time on her hands. And I'm only home on, I get home on Thursdays, and I'm off Friday, Saturday, and I leave around noon on Sundays to do my little loop. And for the past few weeks, especially because of Christmas, we just haven't had the same time off. And I think we're both starting to realize, well, this fucking sucks. You can't meet up with anybody. If you're not going on dates with somebody, you can't form an actual good romantic relationship if you're just talking on an app. Now, we have each other's number. We're texting. We've gone on 2 dates. But since then, it's been like a month. Haven't gone on a date. We haven't had time. And that's the second point. It's not just single moms. It's that both of you have lives. I have a life. I work 70-hour weeks. I'm gone for 4 to 5 days at a time. Most women will not date a guy with my job. I'm a truck driver. Most women won't do that. They won't date traveling men because they don't trust you. They've drank the Kool-Aid. They let other women convince them that just because somebody is a traveler that they're gonna cheat on you, or that they're out meeting a bunch of women. I don't even open up the apps. It's Tinder and Bumble that are location based. Like they show you who's around you or near you. I don't even open those apps when I'm away from home because I don't want to date somebody that doesn't live near where I live. I picked Utah for a reason. I love where I live. I'm staying there. I only want to date somebody that lives there. So I don't open those apps and match with anybody anywhere else. But women don't believe that. They believe that, oh, well, he's at least good looking. He might be a little charming. That means he's a player. For you youngins, that means fuck boy. I am not one. I've never cheated on a woman. And I know women will hear me say, oh, that's a lie. No, I haven't. I was raised by a grandma. I was raised by boomers. I was raised old school as hell. Be loyal, commit. And that's the problem, is nobody wants to commit these days. Nobody got time for you. So, single moms, and everybody has lives. No time for each other. You also run into these if they're around your age, mid to late 30s, the career-oriented girl boss. They're the worst ones, if you ask me. They are the worst ones. Because at first, they'll act like they want to make time for you and they want to be around you. But the girl boss tends to make decent money. And I make decent money. Now, I've dated a few women since I moved out here for, between 1 to 3 months at a time that made more money than I did. I talked about Conflict Girl in past videos. She probably made twice the money I did. She worked in the tech industry. She probably made twice the money I did. And she would throw it in my face. Now, mind you, I have a job where I make pretty good money, well above average salary. I didn't care that she made more money, but she cared for some reason, and she would throw it in my face. That's emasculating. It can be embarrassing. It didn't really embarrass me, but it made me a little uncomfortable because she insisted that we take this trip to Los Angeles. And I'm like, I don't want to take a trip to Los Angeles. That's a little bunch of money. I don't want to do that right now. She's like, I'll pay for everything. And then we take the trip, and she paid for everything. And she's resentful and treating me like I'm an asshole because she paid for everything. I'm like, you said you were going to pay for everything. I said no. You insisted. Why are you mad at me? And that's what I'm saying. These girl boss women, they just throw it in your face. They think they're better than you because they're a woman that made money. The one I'm talking to currently, I'm pretty sure she might actually make more money than me too. I just haven't asked. I don't care. I don't care how much money you make. I do care that you make your own money because I've wasted my entire adult life and set myself back by supporting women who didn't work and who took advantage of me and my money and took my effort and my energy for granted. And I'm just not going to do that anymore. I want to date women that can be independent, but who actually respect men and masculinity and aren't going to act like they're better just because they make money. I don't give a fuck how much money you make. I don't care. Just don't throw it in my face like I'm some bum. I've worked harder than you, okay? I might make more money than you. You might make more money than me. I do not care. I just want somebody who is pleasant to be around. And that's hard to find with these girl bosses. We know. We hear it all the time. Girl bosses aren't intimidating. They're insufferable. That's not all of them, though. I talked about Seattle girl, the one I dated for a few months that lived in Seattle. She owned her own business. It was a pretty interesting business, too. She did medical grade tattoo work. She made really good money doing that in Seattle. And she made more money than I did, but she didn't really have that girl boss mentality. Like, she respected men, she respected masculinity, and we would have actually been a good couple if one of us would have actually wanted to move to the other one city. I didn't want to move to Seattle. She didn't want to move to Utah. Plus, I don't want more kids. She was pretty sure she wanted kids. And I was like, no, don't want to do that. So it wasn't going to work out and we split up. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But you also get, okay, if it's not the girl boss, you get these fucking feminists, these resentful, bitter, hateful, misandrous feminists. And they will, usually, you'll be able to point them out pretty quick. If a woman says she's liberal, that's not entirely a red flag for me. But if they say they're a liberal feminist, no. They already hate you. I said this in a past video. These women already hate men. They're not going to respect you, ever. They're not going to respect masculinity. They're not going to respect your opinion as a man. They're not going to respect your masculine hobbies. They're not going to respect any of your hobbies, actually. They just don't like you. They don't like you. They don't like men. I wish they would just shut the fuck up and be lesbians. And they're like, it doesn't work like that. Then why are you, if you hate men so much, then don't date men. Stop wasting men's time and then blaming it on them. That's all these women do. Fucking feminists. Feminist! It's just, that's code talk for piece of shit. That's what that is. Same as a misogynist. These Andrew Tate types. They're pieces of shit. And feminists are the exact same thing, just women. That's what they are. Alright. What's another type you run into? Whoa! The mentally ill fucking gremlin. Or a personality disorder, identity disorder. Like I said, I dated somebody with borderline personality disorder. I've run into a narcissist. I didn't date her for very long once I figured out that's what she was. I've talked about this before. But the thing is, if you run into these type of women, these women, you will realize pretty quick how toxic they are and how they're just a waste of your time. They're going to ruin you if you stay with them. So you can let them down. You can reject them. You can ghost them. However you need to do it. It doesn't matter. If you're the nicest man on earth when you let them down, if you do it professionally, let them know there's nothing wrong with them, it's just not going to work, you can let them down the most easy way possible, and they will still go on this T app or the Are We Dating the Same Guy app on Facebook, and they will post lies about you. They will tell everybody how bad you are. They will project and they will accuse you of doing to them what they did to you. I've heard this story so many times from so many men. They're just like, this woman was fucking horrible to me, and I broke up with her, and the only revenge she could get was to try and slander and defame me on this other app so that other women would have a preconceived notion about me. And that happened to me too. Luckily, that hasn't really caused any problems because she was such a ranting weirdo that all of the women that brought this up to me that said they saw me on there have been like, this woman sounds crazy. I'm like, yeah, she was. She was crazy. That's the narcissistic woman I dated. I only went on 2 dates with her and she flipped a switch and went crazy. I'm like, no, I'm getting out of that. And then she tried to get revenge by posting me on that app. And that's the only time I've ever been posted on there, to my knowledge. But that's what happens. If you just have the bad luck of running into these fucking just cluster B personality disorder fucking assholes, they will get revenge on you. It's like a minefield. You won't even have to go on a date with them. You can just match with them and never say a word, and then unmatch. They will say you ghosted them. I've had that happen. Oh my God. And talking about ghosting, you're gonna get ghosted. You're gonna get ghosted so much. And you could be the greatest person on the planet. I'm 6 feet tall. I make good money. I have great hobbies. I've been to therapy. I'm emotionally available. Well, sort of. I've learned my lesson with that shit. But I have the emotional regulation of an actual adult, for one. And a lot of these women, if you try to set boundaries, or they can't even carry a conversation. They can't talk. They don't know what they're talking about. They have no hobbies. They have no personality. And then they still ghost you, even when you're the interesting one. It's like, God damn, man. Some of them will use you for a free meal ticket. I don't know. I have had that happen to me. I had it happen to me one time. I matched with one girl, talked to her for a week, and she disappeared. Okay? We hadn't gone on a date yet. She reappeared about a week later. I'm like, okay. Nothing crazy about that. That's normal. People have lives, like I said. We set up a date, and we were gonna do something. I think it was like play pool, and then go out to eat after if we hit it off. I remember she specifically said to me, do you mind if we don't play pool? We just go eat? And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I did. We went and ate, and it wasn't a super expensive place. It was great food, but it wasn't a cheap place. It was just not super expensive. Went to eat. Cool. We walked around the mall that was near us. Everything was good. Everything was good. Everything was great. And I'm not a delusional person. I know if a date went bad. I've only had one. I had 2 weird dates, which I talked about those in another video. But everything was great. Never heard from her again. She used me for a free meal. So now, I will not take women to eat on the first date. Absolutely not. That is a non-option. You're not getting food on the first date. No, not for me. I think all men should do that. This whole thing with that woman that went viral, that bitched about going to the Cheesecake Factory. Lady, Becky, Cheesecake Factory is good. And it's more expensive than most restaurants. What are you talking about? You don't want to go. You weren't even worth McDonald's, woman. She looked like KFC. Maximum. She looked like KFC maximum. And KFC is even overpriced. Kiss my ass, Becky. I don't know, man. As the years have gone on since I've been out here, I don't know if it's just Utah. Yeah, well, actually, I do know. Because anyway, anytime I post a video like this, I get multiple guys like, yeah, it ain't just there, it's everywhere. Around the world, it's like this. Dating in 2025 is just, it's like window shopping. Everybody thinks, especially women, think they have every option. They overvalue themselves. They think of themselves as like 8s or 9s, you know, when they're like 6s, maybe 7s. So they go after guys that they perceive to be 8s or 9s or 10s. And those guys, those kinds of guys, they just want to fuck you. They just want to sleep with you once or twice. That's it. They're using you. And then these women get all mad that they got used by an actual fuckboy, and they apply that experience to all men. And the older they get, the more years they do this dumb shit and make bad choices and choose shitty men, they start to act like all men are like that. So now you get to my age, late 30s, 40, and it's all these women. They have this notion that all men are like this. So now they're just lazy and apathetic. And they don't care. That's why they don't talk. They won't message you first on Bumble. you have to figure out a way to get them to message first. Or you got to stand out. The ones that do reply are typically used goods. They got fucking 6 kids. They're crazy, or they just hate men. That's the point of my video, right there. It's so bad. It's so bad. But I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. I've gotten to a point where I'm just passive about it. It doesn't really affect me. It doesn't get on my nerves, even though it sounds like it does. It's just, I'm going to keep doing it because I do want someone to spend my life with. I want someone to go on little trips and have fun with and talk to and spend time with and actually like being around. And I'm sure every woman wants that. But there's something about this modern dating bullshit, especially with dating apps, that just keeps that from happening. And it's designed to keep it from happening. It is literally designed to keep you from finding the right person. There's no way to fix it. We just got to figure out how to navigate it. That's why a lot of men give up. That's why a lot of women give up. They don't date anymore. They just say, fuck it, I'll die alone. If I die alone, fine. I have great hobbies. I play guitar. I cook great. I love the food I cook. I go out, I hike. I go camping. I go off-roading. I got my guns. I go shooting. But video games, filmmaking, movies. I collect my vinyls. I love my life, okay? I love it. If I never find a woman again, I'm okay with it. But I want to. I want to. I'm just not desperate for it. And I think that's the key. Is if you're desperate, you're going to choose the wrong fucking people every time. I don't want it to hit 30 minutes. I've already talked too much. Y'all have a good one.